dream my dreams in blues and grays of happy timeless yesterdays, the blues and sea and Lady Day, Ellington and Hemingway, candlelight and Courvoisier. Where did the magic go?
Magic really hasn't gone anywhere. It's still on AM 95 WIVX, Utica, Rome, New York, because it's a great place to be. I'm Harvey Lisker. Good morning. From Orlando, Florida, we're talking this morning with Don Lamond. If you don't know Don Lamond, you've got no business listening to jazz.
And I have one with her with a small band, and then I put out a big band with 8 sides on it.
Mm-hmm.
It's been getting pretty good play. Got a good write-up on...
something together on that.
Oh, that'd be real nice.
Okay, and now you're a guest conductor up there, but do you have a big band with you?
Yeah, well, it's a big band. It's a show band at the top of the world. It's a regular review, you know.
I see.
They're doing that all over the country now. Some of the acts have priced themselves out, you know.
Well, I know that's unfortunate.
Doing that a lot. I had been doing the Merv Griffin show out there, and they're even cutting a lot of those shows out in Vegas. You know, too bad.
Right. You think it's the economy or what?
Yes, I think so.
Huh. Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Everybody's fighting the buck, you know.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I think the gambling has come down to Atlantic City. Seems to be.
Yeah, a lot of it has.
Yeah, I think a lot of the people are either fed up with going into Las Vegas for some reason, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And I know that there's a lot of activity, music-wise, also done in Atlantic City.
That's right. Yeah, they're really swinging there.
And we just came back from Hackensack, New Jersey. Of course, you know that they've been doing that review down there, the 40s and the 80s.
Yeah, I did that up there a year or so ago with Red Norvo.
I'll go back a little bit. You got some... Who did you used to play with, Don?
Woody Herman, more than anybody.
Mm-hmm. When did you start with Woody?
Oh, I started soon after World War II. I was with both herds, you know, the one with Bill Harrison Flip, and then the one with Stan Getz and Zoot and Al.
Uh-huh.
I was with those two bands. And then I moved to New York and did studio work, but I recorded with more bands while I was in New York than you know, I'd ever done on the road. Most of the bandits, you know, would get fellas around New York to record, and then they would get other younger fellas that were first starting out to take them on the road, you know.
Right, I know. A lot of people seem to be doing that. Even today they're doing that.
Yeah. Well, listen, you know, to get really top-rate musicians to pay what you have to pay, you know, for them to live on the road is unbelievable.
Oh, I know it.
Very
Especially
hard to travel with a big
Sure,
band.
the transportation costs will kill you.
Sure.
But, you know, it's interesting because I think it was back in last October, Woody called me from the club that he had in New Orleans.
Yeah.
And he had great plans for it at the time, but unfortunately, I guess they fell through.
New Orleans is a better town to rest in the summer.
I guess it is.
And we tour in the summer, so it seems to work out very well. Thank you.
You just got off tour? Or are you just taking it easy up there for a while?
What's that?
I said, when was the last time that you were on tour?
Well, we just got back. As a matter of fact, we opened here last Friday.
Oh.
So we've been here just a little less than a week.
And what do you call the place there, Woody?
It's Woody Herman's, and it's in the Hyatt Regency Hotel.
Oh, beautiful.
And we're right across the street from the Superdome, so, you know, it's where the action is.
Right, I guess so. I wish there was more action around here. We're doing our best to try to bring the whole scene back, but I guess you know from traveling across the country, you just can't bring too many people out around this part of the area.
Well, I think it's part of Americana, you know.
I found out about that in October. You know, Epcot, they opened down here, and they had all the big bands. They had Basie, Lionel Hampton, Woody, Harry James, the Miller Band, Bob Crosby, and Pete Fountain. And I worked with Woody that night.
Oh, I see. Well, what is he doing now?
Well, you know, after that room was supposed to be doing well, and then 2 weeks after I played with him, they shut the room for some reason or other. I don't know why, business, politics, or something. And then the poor guy, like he goes out to California, and his wife passed away.
Oh, that's too bad.
So he had the double whammy, but he's out there again. He's a tough man,
Yeah.
He's a hard man to beat down.
Yeah, and then he said he was having a satellite radio program, and I don't know if anything came on that either.
I don't know what he's doing right now, but I think I don't know. He's into something. I heard the other night. I just can't be specific about it, but he'll be doing something.
Right. Well, I'll get in touch with him again and see what's happening. You know what? You're mentioning playing with the two herds there, because I exchanged programs with a gentleman on Pennine Radio in Bradford, England, and they're very interested in the herds from the Woody Herman days.
Why is it that the biggest jazz events take place in other parts of the world? In other words, it's more important in Japan, it's more important in Europe than it is in the United States. So I think we have a problem there to begin with.
You think it's the appreciation of the jazz music?
I think so. It is, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. And,
we were in Tokyo and all over Japan, as a matter of fact, about a month ago, and it was one of the most successful ventures I've ever been around, and it was the Oryx Jazz Festival, which they have about 70 or 80 jazz players from everywhere in the world, and draw great crowds. Like we have in a stadium, you have 40 or 50,000 people. So it's more comparable to rock than other parts of the world.
Right, and I guess you musicians that have been around as long as you have had some good success in Europe as well. Is that right?
Oh yes, down through the ages.
Yeah, right. Much better reception than across the country here. Yeah, it's strange. How about at the Saratoga Jazz Festival? Have you been in that recently?
I've been there a couple of times, and I enjoyed it, and it was very good.
Right.
That's a couple of days out of a year.
And you had a group called the Wood Choppers?
Yeah.
What was involved in that group?
Well, we had different people at different times. It would depend on which year.
Yeah.
And it was a small group from within the band.
Mm-hmm.
You're mentioning playing with the two herds there, because I exchanged programs with a gentleman on Pennine Radio in Bradford, England. And they're very interested in the herds from the Woody Herman days. And I constantly send them as much material as I can. And they'll be glad, even this interview that I have with you right now, I'm putting on tape, and I'll send portions of it over there.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, and they'd really appreciate that, I'm sure.
There's, Sam Merowitz is down here, too. He played lead alto with Woody, And there's a young fella down here that happened to go into a music store, and he found a lot of old records that we had made.
I love the age when movie stars had fancy furs and foreign cars. Spencer playing Catherine's Bow, Bogey in a gangster role, Fred and Ginger dancing slow. Where did the magic go?
We just got back from Japan, and there's a great deal of interest in everything that's happening. And I just, within the last few months, produced an album for Concord Records, which is called Four Others, which is it's a group made up of four tenors and a rhythm section.
Talking with Woody, he didn't seem to want to reminisce too much about him. He's more interested in today than he is.
Yeah, well, that's why he's kept up. He doesn't live on yesterday.
Right.
And he keeps into today, which is one reason why he's been able to go this long.
Right, and he says he's older than Methuselah. How old is he?
69.
Ah, that's young for crying out loud.
Yeah.
Sure, he's got a long way to go.
Magic go. Too much empty space, too little style, too little grace. Louis' horn is in the ground. Bud and Tatum aren't around. And who remembers Dorothy's sound? Where did the magic go?
Let's see if I can get a hold of Joe Morello here.
Well, it's if it comes out, I'll definitely send it to you because I've got people like Doc Severinsen was playing lead. I had people like Ernie Royal. I had Phil Woods. I had, John Bunch was playing piano.
Really catches you when you have to stop and think about these things, doesn't it?
And thing. It was beautiful. Al Cohen, Zoot Sims. It was a hell of a band.
When did you do this?
This was done in 1963.
Mm-hmm. Never published, huh?
I had all the horses in town, and they were all great players. I think I was the worst guy in the band, actually.
Can't say that, that's for sure. You've been drumming there for many a year, haven't you, Joe?
Well, yeah, I guess so. I've been around.
When do we go back to? Let's go back a little bit in your background.
Sure.
When did you stop? Was the drums the first instrument you ever played?
No, I played violin at first.
That's quite a change.
Started violin when I was 5 years old. I played till I was about 12. And I played with the Boston Symphony when I was about 9. I did the Mendelssohn Violin Concerto and all that nonsense. And people asked me, they said, how did you play? And I said, well, how does a 9-year-old kid play? It must have been Kitty's day at the orchestra.
Well, the thing is, if you were able to play that kind of music, you were obviously quite well.
Well, that's debatable. However, I always was sort of in love with percussion instruments, and I started drumming, studying when I was about 15, 16. And I've been doing this ever since, and it's been a very wonderful career. I have no complaints at all. I would do it all over again.
Well, that's what I often ask the people if they have any qualms about taking the direction that they've gone in. If they had the opportunity, would they change it?
No, I don't think so. I had an opportunity to go into business. My father had a very lucrative business going, construction company and so on, and I just wasn't cut out for that. And of course, it took him a while to realize. But he...
Parents are like that.
Yeah, well, this is only normal. You want to see your kids do good, I guess. But I'll never forget, I was kidding my dad. There's a little joke between us. I said, one day you're going to pay to see me play. And when the first time I played Carnegie Hall, he came down.
You bought a ticket, right?
And I told him, you go out.
You wouldn't let him in free.
He didn't do it, but I just, it was sort of a joke. I just said, okay, I told you this. But it's been a very rewarding career to me, and I can't complain at all.
Right. And have you gone on tour across the country, in Europe or Asia?
Oh, I've been to Europe about 30 or 40 times. For Brubeck,
I guess most everybody has. Now, let me ask you also, because Woody Herman is quite, quite adamant in saying that he's better received over there and also in Asia than in the United States. Do you feel that way, too?
Well, I'll tell you. Hang on, could you hold just a second?
Oh, sure. Go ahead. What I'm doing is talking with Joe Morello from 95 WIVX, Utica, Rome, New York.
Is this going?
Great place to be. Yeah, go ahead, Joe.
Is this going over the air?
Oh, sure.
Oh.
Well, what do you think? Yeah, we're live on the air right now.
Well, that's beautiful.
Okay? Yeah, we're covering central New York, and whoever is hearing us, possibly up in Canada and anywhere with shortwave radios, even in the Atlantic Ocean. Who knows?
Before I answer your question about the European thing, I want to say that I think it's marvelous that there's people out there like yourself that's really promoting good music.